If you can't restrain your heart, how can you overcome the objective world? Good morning, today is Monday, July 1st, 2024. Today in history, on this day 103 years ago, the Communist Party of China was founded. It explored a revolutionary path focused on encircling the cities from the countryside and seizing power through armed struggle. This led to the establishment of the People's Republic of China, where the people are the masters of the country. This event marked the end of China's tragic history of poverty and weakness, caused by internal and external troubles in modern times. It ushered in a new era of development and progress for the Chinese nation, which holds great significance in Chinese history. Qingqiao, bridging the business world and delivering information to you. Welcome to today's Qingqiao Morning News. Let's start with political updates. Sudden mutiny in Bolivia. According to Xinhua News Agency, on June 26, the Bolivian army, led by a senior general, stormed the presidential palace. President Arce, a socialist, condemned the military coup attempt and urged his supporters to take to the streets to defend democracy. TV footage showed a tank crashing into the presidential palace while soldiers occupied the capital's main square, using tear gas to disperse crowds chanting slogans. Bolivian Army Commander Zuniga emerged from an armored vehicle to announce he was leading the military operation. President Arce denounced the unusual troop movements around the presidential palace in La Paz, stressing that Bolivia's democracy must be respected. Former President Morales also condemned the action, labeling it a coup in the making and calling for criminal charges against Zuniga and his associates. Zuniga was arrested the same day, and prosecutors have launched a criminal investigation against him and others involved in the attempted coup. Secondly, we'll bring you updates on military-related news. NATO establishes office to coordinate military aid to Ukraine. Recent reports from New York indicate that NATO will announce the establishment of an office in Germany during its upcoming summit in Washington, marking the alliance's effort to coordinate long-term assistance to Ukraine. This move is seen as a crucial step toward Ukraine potentially joining NATO. However, the proposal to create this office was driven by the U.S. Biden administration and NATO officials to solidify commitments to Ukraine at the summit. They believe that Ukraine is not ready to join NATO yet, primarily because it is still involved in a conflict that could drag NATO into military engagements. President Biden and German Chancellor Scholz insist that Ukraine must first tackle corruption and improve its democratic institutions before advancing toward NATO membership. In other news, NATO has announced the appointment of Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte as the next NATO Secretary General, succeeding current Secretary General Stoltenberg in October. Rutte, 57, has been elected Prime Minister of the Netherlands 4 times since 2010. He has led coalitions through various crises, including the European debt crisis, the COVID-19 pandemic, the Russia-Ukraine conflict, and energy challenges. Rutte's strong communication skills and coalition leadership experience are seen as vital assets for his new role. Furthermore, Rutte has consistently supported providing military aid to Ukraine, aligning with NATO's strategic objectives. Now, let's turn our attention to the latest economic news. Malaysia prepares patent application for Musang King durian. Lianhe Xiaobao reported on June 27 that Malaysian Agriculture and Food Security Minister Muhammad Sabu emphasized the importance of patenting Musang King durian due to its high demand abroad, particularly in China. The ministry's International Affairs Unit will initiate the patent application process. Muhammad Sabu also highlighted that Malaysia ensures the quality of exported durians by enforcing Malaysian Good Agricultural Management certification for both durians and durian products. In 2022, Malaysia exported durians worth RM1.14 billion globally, constituting 58.6% of the country's total fruit export value of RM20.1 billion. China serves as the primary export market for Malaysian durians, with exports totaling RM880 million in 2022. Tourism becomes Japan's second-largest economic pillar after automobile exports. Recent reports from Japanese media highlight tourism as a key pillar of Japan's economy. Over the past decade, spending by tourists visiting Japan has quadrupled. It ranks second only to automobile exports among Japan's major economic sectors. From January to March 2024, tourists spent 720 million yen, extrapolating to an annual figure. While less than half of Japan's 17.3 trillion yen automobile exports in 2023, it surpasses the export values of semiconductors and steel, ranking second and third respectively. The growth rate of tourist spending in Japan outpaces the growth in its major export categories. In the first quarter of 2024, tourist spending increased by over 60% compared to the same period in 2019, while automobile and steel exports in 2023 saw growth rates of about 45% and electronic components less than 40% compared to 2019. The spending patterns of foreign tourists are evolving, with reduced interest in past favorites like budget cruises and duty-free shopping. Instead, there's a shift towards spending on leisure activities such as accommodation, dining, transportation, and organized tours, reflecting changing preferences from 2019 to 2023. Now, here is some important safety information. Nearly 12,000 people sleeping rough in London, reaching new high. According to Agence France-Presse, on June 27, Homeless Link reported a record number of homeless people sleeping on the streets of London in the year to March, reaching approximately 11,993. This marks a significant increase from 7,581 in 2013 to 2014. UK citizens comprise 45% of those sleeping rough, with nearly a third from Africa, Asia, the Americas, and Australia, and about a quarter from Europe. The UK, as the world's sixth-largest economy, has faced high inflation in 2023 and a shortage of affordable rental housing in recent years. Charities and campaigners continue to urge the government to commit to building 90,000 social rented homes annually. Homeless Link's chief executive, Mr. Henderson, described the figures as shocking and called for the incoming government, formed after the July 4 election, to develop a bipartisan plan to address the issue. New York ranks world's most traffic-congested city for 2 years. According to Bloomberg News on June 25, the 2023 Global Traffic Scorecard by the U.S. Transportation Information Services Corporation revealed that New York City drivers experienced the highest peak commuting hour congestion, losing 101 hours to traffic jams. This ranked New York City first globally, with Mexico City following at 96 hours lost, and London and Paris close behind with 99 and 97 hours lost respectively. Chicago also recorded 96 hours lost. In contrast, Singapore ranked 369th globally, with drivers losing 19 hours due to traffic congestion. The report highlighted that traffic congestion cost the United States over $70.4 billion last year, marking a 15% increase from 2022. New York City has topped the list for 2 consecutive years. Recently, Governor Hochul suspended a tolling plan aimed at easing traffic and funding transportation upgrades, which contributed to worsening congestion in downtown Manhattan. Vehicle trips to downtown Manhattan increased by 13% last year, and during morning rush hours in the first quarter of this year, vehicle speeds averaged 11 miles per hour, 11% slower than the same period last year. Finally, here's some intriguing cultural news. Indonesian Tengger people offer sacrifices to pray for rain. According to Reuters, Indonesia's Tengger Hindus celebrated this year's Kasada festival on June 21 to 22. Thousands of believers climbed Mount Bromo, which stands at 2,329 meters, carrying chickens, goats, rice, fruits, and other offerings. These offerings were thrown into the volcano's crater as prayers for rain and a prosperous harvest. The Tengger people have a long-standing tradition of making sacrifices to seek rain. In recent years, Indonesia has faced severe weather conditions that have greatly impacted its agricultural livelihood. Last year, an extended El Niño weather pattern disrupted crop growth and exacerbated forest fires. The entire Java province and other regions experienced their worst dry season since 2019, leading to significant losses for farmers. Financial newsletter. According to Chihua Daily, recently, the price of electrolytic aluminum has dropped from its peak of around 22,000 yuan per ton at the end of May to approximately 20,300 yuan per ton. This decline is attributed to hawkish comments from the Federal Reserve and weakening consumption during the off-season. That's all for today's Xinjiang Morning News. Thank you for listening.